we can leverage AI to drive alignment across different programs, such as finance programs and strategy. And we are going to be discussing how we can use Microsoft Dynamics 365. So I'm the first speaker for this session. My name is Maureen Kimiri, and I'm going to be taking you through what the challenges that we face in the nonprofit sector are. So at a high level, I'm going to be discussing how we can leverage AI to work smarter and automate processes, as well as enhance donor confidence and transparency when we are doing reporting, because data is key. And the question then comes, what kind of data are we going to be doing in terms of that. So in the agenda, we are going to be discussing the challenges that we have encountered in the nonprofit sector in terms of organizational silos and misalignment. And then we'll also showcase the solution. What is it that we are offering on the front end and also on the back end, so that we can do operational excellence. And also now the theme of this is AI. How can we use AI, and how do we develop leverage AI for predictive analysis and also for data readiness? So on the front end, there's a solution called the CRM, or the Customer Relationship Management System, that helps with donor management in terms of tracking leads and concepts, as well as EOI and RFIs. I know if we have members of the audience who are in the program space, you can relate to this, where you find you're either working off system or you're using Excel. And we are going to be showcasing how we can be able to automate such processes. Then we have the business and development team, who usually do the proposal design and development, as well as fundraising team, where you do the donor commitments and the tracking of those commitments, and how we are going to be automating those processes. In terms of grants and sponsorship management on the front end, there's the full life cycle management, from opportunity identification through award, delivery, and compliance, as well as the closeout. So this is everything from the front end in terms of identifying quality leads, and also making sure that this team collaboration. So if myself and a member of my team is also tracking or approaching the same donor, then how do we work together to make sure that we are either aligned in terms of who to track what or who to do what? Then there's the full life cycle of the proposal in terms of the submission application. All this can be done within the system. And in terms of even tracking, when you're as the programs manager, you can be able to track what are your people doing, or myself as the programs person, what stage am I in terms of nurturing this. And we also have reports that we'll be showcasing that are very good, and they are enhanced with different matrices that we can be able to share with donors, and also documentation. So from a strategic alignment, the front end is, like I said, is the CRM. Then there's the back end operational, which is the ERP, where we look at the functional focus from grant lifecycle, from prospecting proposals and the letters of interest. And there's the ERP component, or the back end, which is the award management and closeout. There's donor finance, where we look at payment schedules and donor commitments. If we have lifetime giving, if they are periodic commitments from donors, is it a household? We are able to see that in one unified system. And also now on the back end, we have now the fund accounting, and also the reconciliation in terms of internal and external reporting. There's project delivery, where we have sometimes we have projects that are donor funded, so we can be able to do like impact stories and field matrices, especially for M&E team, and you can be able to do that within the CRM system. And on the back end, we look at what this will encompass is the budget utilization, and also the procurement bit. If there's items that needed to be procured, if you're in the health sector and you need to maybe, say for example, I can use the malaria team, if you needed to do mosquito nets or any health related items, you can be able to do that within the procurement system. So then there's the compliance in terms of the donor ROI, KPI and deliverables, where we say this project is going to take a certain period of time, and we're able to track that. And on the ERP bit, we have the financial controls to make sure that everything is done within that. So I am going to speak on the front end, and my colleague is going to help us speak on the back end in terms of what the ERP does and what we can be able to track from that.
Thank you very much. My name is Jacqueline. So I'll take us quickly through the backend, which is mainly the ERP system. So some of the challenges that this solution is supposed to help us handle. We know for most of the operations, especially in the non-profit environment right now, we have instances where we have finance programs and strategy in terms of reporting and also compliance being handled in silos. So this brings about misalignment, and you find that we have different data that is spreading across different departments. We have like maybe spreadsheets where finance are using that for budgeting. We have programs also using their own other metrics. And this also brings about limited visibility between whatever is being the budget performance as well as also the program outcomes. So when we are able to have a solution that is able to combine the two, that is the front end where we are having the donor management and all the program impact assessment details, then we are able to move that back to the ERP where the main processes are. And then at the ultimate, we'll have the leadership having real-time insights, which is reading from the two different systems. So this is the ecosystem that we are talking about, whereby we have a centralized platform that is able to connect finance, where we are doing budgeting, expenditure tracking, procurement elements, and also any other type of expense. Then we have programs also whereby we are able to tie the budget to the impact that the project or the project are tied to. Then the strategy in terms of the leadership are able to get the different reports as in real time. And this means they are able to make proactive decisions as opposed to being reactive. Then we have automated compliance and grant reporting, because ideally we have one system with all the reports and all the compliance details per the donor requirements are noted. And of course, finally, the improved collaborations and also data-driven decision, because we have one pool and one source of truth and real-time dashboards through the reporting engine. And this helps the leadership to be able to get any type of reports across all the departments. So I'll give my colleague to proceed.
Hello, Jambo. You're doing well? I hope you're following. Yeah, so the question we're going to ask ourselves is why now? Why are we talking about AI? And I know there's a lot of discussion around AI in terms of automation of the processes, but critical is why now? So AI is no longer a technological discussion. It's a sector discussion and leadership discussion, and also it's already embedded in even community-based discussions. So how are we able to leverage this AI and be able to bring it to our business processes, and also being able to respond, because time is not on our side. So are we able to respond? And also, how does the future look when it comes to matters around AI? Let me look at it in terms of 4 perspectives. How can AI assist businesses, basically the non-profit, in terms of basically efficiency? So there are 3 capability areas that we are looking at in terms of AI. One is operational excellency, day-to-day activities. So my colleague have talked about how are we able to report to donor, how are we able to do proposals, how is AI able to assist you in terms of those? So we have Copilot, we have different tools, we have different models that can be able to assist in terms of drafting, of course, the grant report. Of course, donor email personalization. You can be able to do multilingual translation. I know it's a critical issue when you have different languages, system that cannot be able to sustain this. Whatever we are showcasing here, it's a multilingual. It is a system that can be able to do translation in different languages. Program delivery is a very critical aspect. And also what we are trying to solve here is around responsiveness and also improving access to services, and also being able to be in touch with the communities that we are serving, the outreach. So are we able to communicate through? Is it SMS? In some cases, chatbots with the community, either to get information or even to communicate to them, depending with the, whatever we want to communicate. Data collection is critical on the fields. How are we able to get data, whether it's offline with offline capabilities? Are we able to collect this data and correct data safer? So this is a discussion that, again, we are able to do, and also predictive resource allocation. So resource is a very critical aspect when it comes to nonprofit. How are we able to have a predictive, to be able to see how your resources are tied to different activities. Knowledge management is very critical. And again, here we are talking about institutional knowledge. In most cases, you have resources who've been in the institution for a very long period of time. They have that knowledge that they are only people who can be able to basically give you the lesson learned from different programs to different outreach or basically projects that have been implemented. How are we able to use AI in terms of doing basically surfacing program data, collecting these lessons learned, and also onboarding basically staffs. Also fundraising and communication is very critical. And here what we are looking at is scaling outreach and also storytelling with the limited staff. Either you have limited staff or whatever resources you have. Are you able to do personalized appeals and also social media context? So 3 pillars for us to be able to sort that issue. One is literacy. You can't start implementing AI without literacy of the people you have. So we do assist in terms of course, literacy, understanding what AI can do. We have AI even on our phones. We have AI in different angles, but AI can do more than just text or chats. How are you able to train your staff to use AI? Infrastructure is very critical. Again, data hygiene. AI cannot work without data. So data hygiene, how are we able to basically clean up our data, policies across, and also ensuring that they are secure and safe. And also the governance aspect. Governance, I think it has been talked about in almost all fora in terms of policies to ensure that this is done. So as impacts, we actually walk the journey with the institutions and non-profit, and we've been able to be recognized as one of the implementing partners with our sponsor to be able to assist basically different organizations to drive AI capabilities, secure, well-planned, and also to work for you. So I think it's high time we start asking ourselves, when is the right time? And the right time is now. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Well, not yet, still morning. And who is Impacts? Impacts is a team that has worked with Microsoft to ensure that this space that you are in is covered in terms of technology, covered in terms of solutions. So we work together with Microsoft, and we have been there in this space for quite a while. And what we've been doing is to ensure that we have solutions that meet the needs of the players in the not-for-profit sector, plus also other sectors as well. So I'll just walk you through 2 or 3 slides, just emphasizing to you who or what Impacts is. And Impacts is an ICT company, of course, founded slightly over 2 decades ago, based here, founded here, but with a global presence. So we've been there, and we do have physical offices, affiliates, one in Uganda, and setting up a few more. We are largely a Microsoft partner, Microsoft house, but we do have bespoke solutions, and we do partner with other organizations to ensure that the solution that we offer our people, mainly the not-for-profit sector, really covers the whole space. Of course, we base in this region, but we have, as I said, we are global. We have a presence in 20 plus countries, including in Europe, including in US. But of course, the majority of our clientele is within Africa. As we speak, we actually have an implementation that is running for a not-for-profit sector, running out of Seattle in US, and with a presence in about 11 countries. In terms of people, because we believe in having people that drive the solutions, we are about 125. And of course, that have diversity in terms of culture, because culture is very important. It's not just technology. Technology can't work without people. So we ensure we have people that represent the different cultures that we operate with, which means the deployment, the operationalization of the systems is much more people-friendly, because it's technology without the people aspect, we all know will not work. So what are our products? My colleagues before me have indicated, we do the back office and the front office in terms of the solutions that we focus on. The Microsoft suite of products, the F&O, Business Central, of course, CRM we mentioned, cutting across the donor management, the partnership and fundraising. We also do Power BI and analytics. We also have a point of sale. Sometimes some of the NGOs do actually a lot of field services work, a lot of outreach. So we have solutions that you've developed that enable us to have online and offline capability. Alongside that, we have developed our own in-house solutions that are available on app source within Microsoft that, again, supplement and complement whatever gaps that we identify from the standard applications. And what we do is that we also customize the standard Microsoft product to make sure that they meet the unique requirements of this sector. Away from Microsoft, we also do asset tagging and verification services, including use of RFID, use of contact technology, use of barcoding, tracking your mobile assets, your field service people, linking depending on the controls that you have, protecting data that is in there. So these are some of the solutions that we offer. For the period that in operating, we've obviously gotten a few awards. I just mentioning some of them. Again, just mentioning that we are an accredited Microsoft Business Applications partner. We are also among the about a dozen or so partners globally, and I repeat, about a dozen or so globally that are accredited for not-for-profit sector. There's a very specialized accreditation that happens with Microsoft. So we have shown that capacity, we have shown that expertise through delivered projects. So we are one out of about 12 or 13 that are global. Of course, we've been able to streamline our services, including ISO certification. So we are ISO 2027 certified, 9001 also. We are fast-track partner with Microsoft, a go-to partner. Of course, we are accredited by the local ICT authority in Kenya and Uganda, where we have a physical presence. And in terms of data is critical these days. The new oil is data, and we are also accredited as a data controller, a data protector, processor, because we follow all the protocols that are required in terms of data management. We've of course also been named in the Financial Times as one of the fastest growing organizations in the region in Africa. So that's the summary about who Impacts is, what we have done with Microsoft, and we have a booth down here. So you are welcome to visit. We have those kind of conversation, get deeper in terms of your needs. And the other thing I wanted to mention, just in case you are not aware, is that Microsoft normally has a very attractive software license offer for players in the not-for-profit sector. I think it goes up to 60-70% discount off the commercial prices obviously all you need to do is you need to be validated, and we can help you to get validated that you are a validated not-for-profit player, and you can enjoy up to 70% of the software cost. Then you'll be able to have the rest of the conversations, either of myself or the rest of the team in here. I think we're almost done in time. I don't know whether we have a hot question. But before we get in there, we can get just a feel of how the system looks like. Maybe Maureen, Jackie, just to really just have a feel as you get your question in place, a feel of how the system feels and looks. Again, you can have more conversation at the booth.
Okay, can I start? Yeah, just for me, I wanted to know how do you do integration, because already, businesses are running, they're using systems already that are in place. How do you integrate that so they don't have to do things all over again? Thank you.
Yeah, great question. It's a part of our implementation services and integration. Obviously, you have legacy system that you still work, very customized solutions. So as part of our deployment methodology, we ensure that we integrate, we have developed tools that enable that data that needs to be retained, either historically or moving forward, is integrated to our system. So we don't come and replace systems that are still working. We replace those that are not working. We ensure there's efficiency. We ensure there's collaboration. So we have created portals that enable, seamless integration from data that needs to come from different systems. Obviously, the intention is usually to have a unified solution, but we do appreciate that you not come and replace everything. So we do provide integration protocols. Yeah. Another question, as maybe the screens, Laura, you have.
Okay, so I'm just going to just bring it home in terms of what we were talking about, the different interfaces for the front end team and what we had discussed earlier in terms of what is possible within the system. So like I mentioned, you're able to do your constituent management. That is, you're able to have one system that has all the donor details, depending on who you're targeting or who the different people are. You can have them either as individuals or as organizations, and you can be able to do different engagements. You can have like a 360-degree view of this donor. So I can give maybe impacts as an example. You can be able to have impacts business solutions. Who do you deal with? Say you're dealing with myself, Maureen, or Patrick, who was here, and you can be able to even have different emails, contact information, what is our preferred contact methodology, and all that. On the other aspect, in terms of the so that is donor and constituent management. You can have the different contacts that are available, and you can have as many as possible. You can track as much detail as possible, and you can also track individuals within the organizations, and you can also track the donors themselves, different organizations within the database. So, and then also we have for the BD, business development team, and partnerships management. Now is where we can look at all the different activities in terms of who are we prospecting. Do we have a campaign maybe we've been running either on our website or on social media? The system is able to integrate with social media, and you can be able to see who did we get as interested donors. If they go to our website and they click, I would like to donate, all that information is captured and it flows back onto the CRM. And from there, we are able to now do the engagement of this prospect, either by sending them a proposal, setting up a meeting, and all those activities. I know we are many salespeople here, and we we like to see what we are doing. And I know even from a matrix perspective, managers would like to know know what we are working on. Once we were able to onboard that donor, we can now convert them into an opportunity. And these are very dynamic ways in which we can now be able to now engage them and onboard them in our organization. We can have what program, we can track as much details as possible. We can have what programs are they going to be funding, what is the modular of funding. Like I said, this is the front end, just for the team to know what is expected, what is the revenue that is expected, the timelines that we are looking at, and all those details. Now, when it comes to the fundraising bit in terms of the donor commitments, sometimes you find that you may not have all that funding dispensed at once. So we have commitments where we say we are going to do periodic, a donor can say they want to give you money periodically. It could be quarterly, it could be yearly, and all those activities. So on the front end, you're able to see what those activities look like. You're able to see when are they, what is the next lifetime giving. You can be able to automate. You can be able to automate even thank you notes from the system, just or even send reminders to the program that to the donor themselves, and we are able to get the grants bit. And like I said, so this is just the front end. There's the operational bit on the end that my colleague is just going to showcase also at a high level. You can be able to see what the grants are, the amount when they were received, and also now when it comes to budgeting of those grants, we are going to see that. We can be able to see, like I said, transactions as well as payment schedules. And also because some of the donations we get are also program-based, we can be able to track the different programs that are being funded by the different donors. You can get who the donor is, when the project is slated to start, and what is the delivery framework. So at a high level, this is what we do. Aside from that, we can be able to track volunteer management. If you have organizations that, say for example, deal with volunteers, we can have that. We can even embed like a link on the website, and if I sign up on your organization as a volunteer, we can be able to get those details, my details, and we can be able to set them out to the different activities that you want them to assist us with. So I'll also now let my colleague Jackie showcase on the operational end what happens when we get the grant, for example, and now how then do we track it on the ERP end.
Thanks, Maureen. So this is the backend that we have been talking about. So basically, it has, because we are talking about a unified solution. So once we have an opportunity, we've already done all the proposal bit, all the engagements are done. So from the main system, we have an integration also to be able to get a sync of all those opportunities as they are from the front end or the CRM. And even the operations team are able to see and be able to check on what is going on, what do we have on the pipeline, how far are we to getting this lead on, so that they can prepare for the award implementation. So there's also a bit on when we talk about the project or the award life cycle. So we've already gotten an award, so we are able also to convert that from the opportunities, and we are able now to proceed in the aspect of budgeting. Like I mentioned, we do this on Excel, and then we merge or we load that back to the main systems that we are using. So the benefit of this unified system is we already have a section, budgeting engine, which we can be able to do all our cost budgeting. Whether we are doing the cost proposal budget, we tie that to an opportunity pipeline. When we convert that to a pipeline, we are able to also see these budgets until we convert this to a live budget that is supposed to control us or guide us throughout the implementation life cycle. Then, of course, the donor budget, which is the true north. meaning that the system locks this. And it has also the other aspect of being able to amend. We can be able to create budget amendments, also integratable with other systems such as digital signature tools. Everything can be done from this unified platform, so that once executions are done on any type of contract, then this is also simulating and getting back to the award. So when we check on in terms of the award life cycle, so this is where the operations come in. We have the procurement elements, we have the finance in terms of expenditure tracking and monitoring. So we are able to track our budget from this particular section. And of key interest is for us being able to tie this back to our program activities. We are able to tie a budget to a program, and so that we can be able to measure the impact in vis-a-vis the budget. So you can be able to see, because we have a budgeting section, so we are able to get all these from one award or the project face view, where we get the donor budget, that is the true north, controlling that our operating budget cannot exceed what was approved by the donor unless there's an amendment. Then from there, also of key interest, we are able to track anything, any spending. For instance, we have an actual expenditure here. If you drill down, you're able to see this was a purchase that was done. Elements from the payroll or the salary cost also. You can be able to drill down even from the award implementation side or the program side. They are able to, the award manager is able to see the real-time details that are being synced back to the project. So from there also, other activities such as the when we are doing budgetary forecast, we can be able to again do it from the main platform. Then also allocations, payroll cost allocations, which are tying back to the timesheets. And you have all this data tying into the original award. And then of course, closeout, when we come to the award closeout, also being able to factor in those notifications to different teams. Like for finance, if there is maybe an invoice they need to send out, all this is tied to the notification section, and each person is able to act on that. So that is what we have. And also, of course, we have a detailed section for reporting, that is being able to match the budget versus actuals, and any other type of financials, of course, from the main financial management section. Also, procurement section also have their own, as well as the human resource section. So that is it from the back-end section. I'll bring in my colleague so that we can get some questions and answers.
Yeah, I guess we are done. But in case you have any other question, maybe just to comment that that's a snapshot of the unified solution. It is possible that you have your front office in terms of the finance working, we could do the back office. It's possible you have your back office working, we could do the front office. It's possible you have none, we could do both. Or you have something that is not efficient, we could do both. So again, we can share these materials. Anybody who wants to have a little bit of more information, again, welcome to the booth. We have our first floor. So that we can be able to have further conversation. We can even do a real demo. We can have a discovery of your needs, and we can take the conversation forward. Maybe just to wind up, I would ask my colleague Njiko just to come and say hi, and she can confirm whether the offer I said about NGO pricing is valid or it was my own imagination. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Pleasure to see everyone in the room. As Patrick mentioned, the entire team, the entire Impacts team mentioned, there are Impacts Business Solutions is a big Microsoft partner. And the way we operate in this region, because it's such a large region, we work in collaboration with partners who we have verified are competent and have experience in the non-profit sector. So they have worked with us with multiple, among multiple nonprofits, the large ones and even the small ones, and I've helped, leverage some of the licenses as Microsoft gives. And I think that was a task that I was given, and I started drawing away from that, sorry. So what happens is that we have a team called Microsoft Elevate, and within that, I work in the Middle East and Africa region, and predominantly focused in Africa. And what we do is make sure that the Microsoft technology we give as grants to nonprofits. We give us offers that are discounted significantly for the nonprofit sector. Most of them range between 50 and 75% of the commercial sector, because we have seen such a low adoption of technology in the nonprofits. And we'd like to assist to see, as Microsoft, how can we better address some of the needs that are happening in the nonprofit sector. So we do have, of course, as a nonprofit, you have to be validated to make sure that you're a nonprofit that is doing public good. You're just not a nonprofit. There are a lot of nonprofit entities. I've come to discover after working in the nonprofit sector over the last 5 years. Before that, I was in the commercial sector. But make sure that the nonprofit is actually working in public beneficially good work, so that you're validated as a nonprofit, and then you can get access to some of the grants and the offers we give as Microsoft. And as I mentioned yesterday on the panel, we do understand, of course, the nonprofit and developmental sector is looking to work in the open space, but we've seen also some areas that as Microsoft we can assist. And in case you're looking for, some of them have been mentioned. They're very specific in that list. As you can see, we have actually turned a generic solution to address the specific imperatives that are there in the development sector. Things like fundraising, things like, I think the team here has highlighted them in a big way. But please go ahead and validate on our platform if you're not validated yet as a nonprofit, and we can help you get access to those technology grants, like M365, business basic licenses. We give up to 300 to nonprofits for free. There are also Azure. We do give a grant of about $2,000 for free, annually renewable, so that you can test out some of the scenarios that you're thinking about using the cloud for. And also, as I mentioned, the rest of the products are discounted, and we are constantly working to discount it even better for for nonprofits and for the developmental sector. In case you have questions about how to validate, you can reach out to me or reach out to the Impacts team, and we'll help guide you through the process so that you get access to this. Okay, thank you very much.
One more call for a question. Anyone? Someone? Yes.
So thank you very much. So the discount is on the Microsoft license, and then there's the costs for the support that we would get from Impacts. Is that?
Yes, the discount is largely from Microsoft, but again, because of the experience we have, we are not discovering new things. Yes, we discover a bit of your nuances, but we have the industrial expertise, so even our rollout is not expensive, because we have done this job for many years. We know where the pain is most of the time, but we still need to validate with you. So even our cost, even if they may not look like they are discounted because of our experience. We do it quick, fast, and efficiently. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
One more.
How quickly can you do it? You see, how long does it take to get an NGO up and running on the system?
Difficult question. Depends on the scope. There are some that you say we are okay with our financials. We are struggling with fundraising. We are struggling with partnership. We are struggling with our integration with social media. So anything from 2 months, some of them will go even to a year plus. Like now, when you have multi-country, multi-language deployments, doing the back office, doing the front office, it goes to a year plus. But there are some who will be actually up and running within 2 months, up and running.
I'm very interested in the non-profit pricing and the validation. Can you just talk about how that process goes, how long it takes, and how it integrates to procurement processes? So for example, you may have procurement processes where there needs to be competition. So how does the non-profit pricing come in place for an NGO? Or like, how do you validate the validation process and also how it integrates its procurement processes?
A good question, and to help us to clarify something. The validation that is done is not done by ourselves. Microsoft has identified a partner, it's called the TechSuite. They are the ones who do the validation. That doesn't mean once you are validated as an NGO in the definition of the Microsoft terms, you're doing work that is for the good of the people and you are not commercial in terms of profitability, then you qualify for the discount that Microsoft offers. From a procurement perspective, then you could say to go to, invite impacts to be part of your bidders. You can invite another company called XYZ. You can invite another. So that is the procurement process is entirely internal. Where the validation comes in is just confirming, are you a confirmed, validated, and not-for-profit operator in the terms and requirements of Microsoft so that you can qualify for the discount. Yeah, I hope that is clear. Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe just to add on to that, as Patrick mentioned, it's function done from the Microsoft side of things to get access to the licensing. And we do, because Microsoft, we don't just work in the nonprofit sector, we work in commercial. So we've gotten partners specifically in the tech nonprofit space. I think maybe some of you know them, like TechSoup. And what they do, for every country, they're aware of the process, how nonprofits are registered in that country of the operation. So they help us validate. And you'll see, if you go to nonprofit.microsoft.com, you'll be able to see the sign-up process for that. What you put in is, the name of your domain. You have to have an existing domain because the licenses are assigned to your domain. They're given to your tenant. The Microsoft tenant is given to your domain. So you put your domain details, you put your registration number as a non-profit in your country, in the country of operation. And you can apply, it's about per domain registration. So you put your country registration details there, your NPO number, if it's in Kenya, maybe even, and the work that you do. Of course, there are some nonprofits which are registered, like in the healthcare industry. You have to show that the work you're actually doing is not profit making, and it actually is beneficial to the public, and it's assisting that way. So what happens once that is submitted in the background, we actually moved validation partners from TechSoup to GoodStack. So GoodStack will help us validate that you're a nonprofit. They are also in the tech nonprofit space, and it takes now about 3 days. You should be able to get a response, whether you're granted or you're rejected. And from there, you get, in the email is very detailed around how to access the grants, the offers, and the programs that we have for nonprofits. I hope that clarifies your question. Okay.
Thank you. Locally, we say Asante Sana. So I think we are done. I am sure there are a few other questions. We meet at the booth or even on the corridors over a cup of tea, over lunch. We'll be available to provide more details. And we can even do a no obligation demo, thereafter, or you time allowing, depending on your schedules, just to showcase what we do. That's what we are here for. Yeah. So with those very many remarks, I want to thank you for being part of this conversation. It's just a beginner. We can get deeper. We'll be able to discuss a lot more now and even into the future. Thank you.